So this is going to be a bit different than usual. I made this channel to talk about great games, but I fell into a trap with this one. I gave it the benefit of the doubt, because normally I think I'm very good at seeing if a game will be good before it's out. This time I failed miserably at that. I listened to the voices saying, "It's Nintendo holding Game Freak back, bro. This is going to be like Princess Mononoke, trust me." And after making it through this very messy game, I can say that the problem definitely isn't Nintendo, bro. Game Freak just isn't that good to begin with, and this is just another example of it. I have to be honest here, the first 10 hours of this game were very rough. Nothing made sense to me. Why is there a hunger meter? Why are you making me raise chickens and grow plants? The story is all over the place. The characters are boring. The parry mechanic, while functional, is far below the level of other games, especially Sekiro, which they clearly looked at, because even the grappling move seems to be the same one. Game Freak apparently looked at a lot of games and thought to themselves that they could just take the systems from them and then mash them together. And somehow this will work out. Cooking from Monster Hunter, combat from Sekiro, music from Stellar Blade, and story like Nier Replicant. If they just combine these few ingredients, it will certainly be a 10 out of 10. Sadly for them, it's not that easy. I was at the brink of quitting this game altogether, but then I thought to myself, man, don't be so negative. Sit down and at least try to understand what they were doing here. It didn't become much better because of that, but somewhere around chapter 7, I felt something. A familiar feeling. I actually had fun. I started really looking into the skill tree for Emma and Ku. I began taking my time with everything. But here is the thing, and that's mainly the problem with Game Freak. It took over 10 hours and I had to actively tell myself to search for the fun. And it was only because they patched it 2 times in the meantime, eliminating technical things which massively improved the experience. Exactly like all their latest entries in the Pokemon universe. This just can't be real, man. You can't defend stuff like this. This is a gazillion-dollar company and they can't even manage to make a stable game at release. Then just delay it until it's ready, maybe? I know your stupid shareholders need their biblical levels of greed satisfied, but only 1 or 2 months would have been enough to fix this mess, at least from a technical perspective. On the other side, you have a team of 33 people making pure art with a fraction of the funding. Stuff like this really makes me mad, because you can see what could have been. It even managed to make me emotional at the end, because you really start to like Emma and Ku. But let's rewind a bit, let's start at the beginning. The game takes place in the year 4026. And humanity is at the brink of extinction because of a parasitic force known as the Blight spreading all over the world, infecting living things and transforming them into monstrous creatures known as malefacts. The remaining humans all retreated into colonies and pretty much the whole planet is reshaped by the Blight. We play as Emma, an 18-year-old sealer who's been afflicted with the Blight since birth. It gives her the ability to manipulate plants, but it also leaves her without memories or much of an emotional connection to other people, or emotions altogether for that matter. Because of her Blight, she is shunned by society, but meets a dog who is afflicted too, named Ku. And through him, she starts to understand what it means to connect with another being, and by that becomes more human herself. Together with Ku, Emma sets out to defeat the Beast of Reincarnation, which essentially is the source of the Blight. Over the course of the game, we travel across post-apocalyptic Japan in search of so-called Nushis, to absorb their power in order to be strong enough to tackle the beast. This task is given to us in a flashback by the administrator, a very old man who surely isn't evil. Right afterwards, a massive creature attacks the colony, and together with Kagura, we try to flee from it, but, it just stands there. Ignoring this massive oversight, we just head on and have to fight it, which is where we get saved by Ku and link up with him like in Avatar. From this point on, both Kagura and Ku join us. Kagura serves as our cook, which in my experience was absolutely useless throughout the whole game. You have to cultivate and search for all these ingredients to make meals, which only give a small stat boost. It's just not needed because the game is not that hard to begin with. And I need to talk about our lovely cook here a little bit more, because she is my most hated character in the game. Every time Kagura would come on screen, I literally almost fell asleep. She talks so damn slow and it's always the same thing. She is only crying, not being confident, and always second-guessing herself, but somehow does it all without showing emotions. I don't know why it grinds my gears so damn much, to be honest, but it does. When I started the game, you couldn't skip dialogue very fast, but thank God they patched that. In addition, we have Brad. He pilots our Bowerer, the machine in which we travel across regions, and acts as a mentor and father figure for Emma. He is pretty okay, I guess, nothing too special. I loved how they would pronounce his name in Japanese though. While killing Nushis and working towards our end goal, we also meet 3 key characters. Kunai, who seems to have a special relationship to Brad, Shido and his Malefact, the big creature which attacked the colony and which we have to fight 3 damn times throughout the game, and Mikoto, some sort of hermit who is in search of Amber. Amber is the currency of the game. And lastly, there is Violet. She inhabits the same body as Emma and has lost all of her memories, but plays arguably the biggest role. With every slain Nushi, she gains a portion back, and throughout our journey, gradually reveals who she really is. I liked her quite a lot. She is this intelligent and very kind child, and was part of the only scene where I had to laugh. Her and Emma are not sure what Ku wants from them, so she suggests that he is hungry. Emma, not understanding anything, because she is the way she is like, just talk, bro.
どうしたの？お腹でも空いてるのかな？そうなの。あ、いや、我にもわからんわ。ただ、見てるとそんな気がしてきただけじゃ。クー、言葉を喋ってくれてもいい。
That was funny, but I'm not sure if they intended it to be like that. So now that we had a bit of fun, let's get serious again. Because here is the part that I struggled with the most during my playthrough. The skill system. For the longest time it was just a confusing mess to me, but I figured it out after an eternity. There are 2 parts to it, for both Emma and Ku. Emma uses blade arts, which are represented on the branches of a tree, and are essentially just the combos which she can do, but are intertwined with the skills she has unlocked represented as the roots of the tree. So for example, if you unlock the Helm Splitter skill, which is a ground slamming attack from the air, you can do a blade art following the Helm Splitter. Not every blade art needs a skill though. Some function as an addition to your normal attacks, like hitting 3 times, then activating the blade art. Many of the blade arts take a long time to fully go through though, and this leaves you open, especially in boss fights because they can't stagger, so you can get hit easily while doing them. So in the end, I actually didn't really use them too often, more like a last resort. There are 3 overarching skills you have to unlock by upgrading your attributes. This will give you access to all the other skills, like the aforementioned Helm Splitter. There is Tracking Shot, which gives you access to all things having to do with your bow and crossbow, Hair, which are sort of the main active skills, and Entanglement Overdrive, a time slowing thingy, which has more like passive skills to it. You probably get why I was confused by all of this. I mean, just look at it. And if this wasn't enough, Ku has also the same amount of stuff. For him, they are called Bloom Arts, basically the attacks he can do, like a Pokemon. Different than with Emma, most of his skills are mods for the Bloom Arts, additions to his attacks which have special effects like healing Emma or faster build-up of affinities. It's really a lot, and I very quickly got frustrated with all of it. I really struggled to understand what his attacks actually do, because a lot of them just looked the same to me, and the descriptions just didn't help. I could be stupid, but I think that's not it, to be honest. In addition, you can collect weapons, armor, and so-called spirit stones for Emma. Small stat boosts with an additional effect to them, like raising your defense, which go into slots in your armor. I only use vigor because it boosts your attack power, and you can stack the same one. Ku only gets a charm, which gives him a little stat upgrade. The weapons were the only fun part of all the things you could collect, because they can have different abilities, like shooting a splash of water, or calling thunder strikes from the skies. They carried me through the whole game, because especially the shock blades seemed very overpowered. There is also a bow and a crossbow, but they really aren't anything special. So let's get back to the somewhat saving grace of this game, the story. Although it's pretty much the same thing over and over again until chapter 8, it really picks up from that point. Till then we just go to a zone, search for a Nushi, kill it, absorb its power and repeat the whole process with minor things happening in between. Well, a very strange thing happened where I actually thought I was tripping. But at the end of chapter 2 and chapter 4, the exact same cutscene plays.
この世界のものではない。
一体我はどこで生まれたのじゃ。
バイオレット、お前が生まれた場所はシャンバル。バイオレット、お前はこの世界のものではない。
一体我はどこで生まれたのじゃ。
バイオレット、お前が生まれた場所はシャンバル。
Like, are we goddamn serious right now? Either I am missing something here, or the QA team was sleeping the whole time. How is stuff like this possible? It really boggles my mind. They really lost the plot here. It's actually amazing. So we arrive at the outskirts of the capital, where the beast of reincarnation is set to appear. But we get ambushed, and while we try to hold off the attacking forces, Brad finds himself in a situation where his only option is to sacrifice himself. Kunai is behind the ambush. Trying to stop her, Emma suffers a major defeat, and because of it, loses her memories and Ku. Following this, we get a long sequence where Emma recovers, while Kagura is taking care of her, and for some reason they felt the need to show us the feat of Emma. Kojima strikes again with a masterpiece. After getting our strength back, we hear of a rampaging malefact in the vicinity, and I really wonder who that could possibly be. We track it down, defeat it, and oh, what a surprise, it was Ku all along. With him back at our side, Emma also gets her memories back, and we make the final push for the capital, where we have to fight Shido one last time before arriving. This scene actually was the very beginning of the game, and I got somewhat hyped when I reached it for real. In the meantime, it was revealed to us by a last message from Brad that the Beast of Reincarnation is a man-made thing, which had the task of guiding humanity to an all-digital world called Shambhala. The real world was dying as a result of climate change, wars and whatnot. They would create synthetic bodies and split their soul with the help of the Beast. And when the time would be right, they would place the souls into these bodies. Gee, I wonder where I heard that one before. Brad left a sword, which can damage the Beast's ability to regenerate. Kanzashi. With this weapon in our hands and Shido finally put down for good, we head into the capital, where, surprise again, I would have never seen it coming. The administrator reveals to us that he was working with the Beast together, all along. He sends Kunai to fight us. She is on his side, by the way, because she is a vessel for the Beast like Emma. The only difference is that Emma has free will. We win the fight this time, and Kunai kills the administrator after that, having realised that Emma is able to kill the Beast. And after this, finally, we arrive at the Beast of Reincarnation, and it is the biggest ass pull of all time. We meet Makoto, remember him? Yeah, me neither. He reveals himself to be the Beast and that he is in love with Violet. They live together in Shambhala, but Violet got sent to Earth by accident, and to get her back, he needs Emma to die, or become the vessel for Violet. He transforms and, just see for yourselves. What in the holy mother of God is this design, man? At this point, I'm really genuinely curious what these people were doing and smoking. How can you land on this design? I'm at a loss for words, honestly. Anyways, this is probably the most challenging fight in the game. It isn't hard, but I died a few times. Emma uses the blade Brad left us and manages to wound the Beast, but it has an ace up its sleeve and steals all our powers and manages to defeat us. But in a classical anime moment, we gain a power-up, become invincible, and are able to best the Beast.
そうか。一緒には行けないんだね。
After the fight, Emma and Ku are infected with too much of the blight and are on the brink of death, but Emma sacrifices herself by taking Ku's blight so he can live. It is a pretty sad moment, I have to admit. Oh yeah, I forgot. Kagura got sick and we had to find her a healing pod, so she is also here.
ダメ。私と一緒になることはない。君だけは生きて。 今までの空が感じた感情。ありがとう空。あったかいよ。君や神楽、バイオレット、もう少し一緒に生きたかった。
Don't worry, Makoto has an epiphany and resurrects Emma's soul into a body that was ready all along, the one which originally belonged to Violet. So Emma, Kagura and Ku live happily ever after. So in the end, while definitely not being as bad as I initially thought it would be, mainly because of the patches, because it really was abysmal in the beginning, it still isn't a good game. It has a moment here and there, but it's nowhere near worth playing it just for that. I paid around €60 for it. I could have bought food with that and kept myself sane, but instead I watched Kagura cook the same stuff over and over again. God, I hate you so much. I had a lot more fun making this video about it though, so at least there is that. Don't buy this game. This company will never learn, and although I thought their next Pokemon entry looks kinda good, I'm not going to take any chances with that one, and neither should you. Thank you for watching.